Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, and today we're going to be checking out one of the new HP OMEN gaming PCs. HP got in touch with me recently and asked me if I'd be interested in checking out one of the products in their OMEN range. That includes both laptops and desktop PCs. So, I very graciously accepted their offer and decided to check out this PC here. Now, this one is a little different to some of the ones on their website. This one is a custom spec, but if you're keen to see some of the available products in the OMEN range, then I've linked the website down below. There are machines at both ends of the spectrum depending on what you want to do or ultimately what games you want to play. But in this video, we're going to unbox it, take a look at the machine itself, the specs, and then run a few benchmarks on some current games to give you an idea as to what this machine is capable of. Now, to begin with, OMEN is HP's gaming range of machines. They're designed and spec'd with some of the latest games in mind. They're also built to be easily upgradable should you want to swap parts in and out when the new products are released. And arguably one of the most important factors, they're also built to look cool. Taking this one out of the box, first up, it's got a red and black colour scheme going on. This applies to all of the OMEN machines, and if you guys know me, then you'll know that red and black is kind of my thing. I'm beginning to think that companies are realising this and just going for that colour scheme to get my attention. I'm joking, by the way. Starting off on the outside, you have this very cool, almost sci-fi looking PC case with vents down either side, the OMEN logo on the left, and the OMEN symbol bang smack in the middle. Among the standard black casing, you also have this carbon fibre look on some of the panels, and it really helps break up the shape. There's also a very useful handle on the top should you want to pick it up and move it, so it saves having to, crouch down and pick it up from the bottom. As for ports, first up on the top right side we have the usual headphone and microphone ports, followed by two super speed USB 3.0 ports and then two USB 3.0 Type-C ports, which is pretty handy, especially if you're transferring large files and want to do so quickly. Below that there's also a memory card slot, which for me is really useful since I use SD cards in my cameras when I'm vlogging, and on my existing setup I have to plug in an SD card reader. Not the end of the world, sure, but still this is a welcome addition. There is also a DVD drive hidden down below in case you want to install something via disk. However, it doesn't stop there. There's something else really cool on the front. There are these two panels that open up on the top, and then if you slide the lock and pull the tab out slide these two hard drive expansion bays. I mentioned that these machines are designed to be easily upgradable, and while there are more traditional bays inside, as you'd expect of any PC, these two up here allow you to add more drives in and then simply connect them up inside. So not only does it look really cool when you open it up, again maintaining that sci-fi look and feel, but it's also incredibly practical. If we then spin around to the back of the machine, you have all of your usual connection and display ports, plus two USB 2.0 ports and another 4 USB 3.0 ports. This is of course especially handy for me since I stream and record videos and my capture device requires a 3.0 port, so while I might not need all 4, it's definitely really handy to have. Now moving on from there, if you want to dive inside, the cool thing about this machine is that it has a really easy access side panel. On the back of the machine there's a lock that you slide, and once it's unlocked, this big textured panel at the top is a button. Press that and the side panel pops open. You then lift it up and out and you have access to the side of your PC, again making it easy to upgrade. For those of you that prefer a little bit more security, the box did come with the usual screws if you want to fix the panel on, but I just left it out for the time being. Also, some of the machines listed on the website do have glass panels on the side, so while this one doesn't, know that depending on your spec, you might have a viewing window into the inner workings. So, now that we're inside, let's list off some of the other specs. This machine has an Intel Core i7-7700 CPU clocked at 3.6 GHz. There's 16GB of RAM inside, a 512GB SSD, one of the new Samsung MZ PCIe Express drives, so good for high-speed read-write. And the GPU is the Nvidia GeForce GTX 1080 Ti. Now there's no extra storage in here for the time being, but since I normally just move drives between my machines when swapping over, that's not really going to be an issue. As for cooling, just the standard fan cooling on this one, but again, some of the machines listed on the website as part of their OMEN range do come with liquid cooling, so you have options. But all up, a very nice machine for gaming, and since I spend a large portion of my day playing and recording videos and then editing, I figured it's time to see how this thing runs a few different games. For this, I chose 3 different titles, games that have inbuilt benchmarking options, and also games that are both new or similarly recognised for some of their spectacular visuals. So for this, I opted to test out Rise of the Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy 15, and also Far Cry 5. Starting off with Tomb Raider, I ran the benchmark test on the very high graphics setting. This benchmark runs a few tests through some of the more stunning and also graphically taxing areas in the game to give you an average frame rate across the board. So for very high, the overall score was basically 60 FPS across the board, but when you break it down by areas, you can see that some areas like Syria and the Mountain Peak dipped at around 47 FPS, meanwhile they peaked, no pun intended, as high as 72 and 83, so all round pretty solid. As for Final Fantasy 15, again running this on the highest graphics settings. For this game it works a little differently. It runs through a sequence that's around 4 minutes long, again looking at different areas and combat, and it gives you a point score at the end, which then correlates to a rating they have on their website. The score for the high graphics setting came out at 9,799, which puts it at very high, which basically means the game can run very comfortably on the machine with a very high frame rate. However, out of interest, I ran the same test on the setting one below, standard, and the result came out at 13,020, or extremely high, meaning the game will run exceedingly well on the machine with a high frame rate, and the website suggests that higher graphical options are available, so hence the jump up to very high. Then for the final test, I ran a couple of benchmarks on Far Cry 5. First up, using the Ultra Graphics preset, I got an average frame rate of 108 with a minimum of 82 and a maximum of 141. Meanwhile, dropping it down to high, in truth, didn't make much difference. The minimum was around 89, maximum was around 147, with the average rounding out at 113. So it can definitely run comfortably on both settings. Now obviously there's a whole manner of other games I could test too, but from an initial impression standpoint, that is pretty solid. For me, I use my PCs half for gaming and half for editing videos, so for the other aspect, this is something I'll test over a longer period of time, but that'll extend to large video projects using Adobe Premiere Pro. This is the one point I typically look to get a little bit more memory, perhaps 32GB of RAM for editing, but at least for some early tests, this still handles most projects with relative ease. So all up, a very nice machine. Looks cool, easy to upgrade, performs well, and all I really need to do is throw in some more drives so I have somewhere to dump all of my gameplay footage and I'm set. Again, if you guys want to check out some of the other available products, then definitely check out the link in the description box down below. I've linked the HP OMEN Facebook page too if Facebook is your thing. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. A massive shout out to HP for very kindly sending me this PC for this video, and thanks very much for watching. Take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.